Hey guys, today in this video I'm going to talk about the Internet of Things. So, most of you aren't familiar with what the Internet of Things actually is. So, the Internet of Things is a network of physical devices, vehicles, appliances, and other stuff like that, embedded with electronics, software, sensors, connectivity, which enables them to connect and exchange data, and they're connected to the Internet. This is a completely new age in the way that computers and devices and of this such work together, because now things that wouldn't even be expected to be connected to the internet are, and they're very popular because the number of Internet of Things devices increased 31% year over year to 8.4 billion devices in 2017. So that's last year, and that's more than how many people are on Earth right now. And it's estimated that there'll be 30 billion in just 2 years in 2020. And the global market is projected to be $7.1 trillion. So obviously, it's going to be crazy popular and probably one of the most popular markets out there. So you may be asking, what are some examples of Internet of Things devices? So here's some examples right now. So some examples would be a smart thermostat like the Nest, Philips Hue smart bulbs, smart locks, smart security system, smart pet feeder, smart toothbrush, smart vacuum cleaner, all these kind of things that you wouldn't expect to be connected to the internet. Smart doorbell, for example, smart kettle, all these kind of things connected to the internet. Even blinds, curtains, windows, all this kind of thing that wouldn't be expected to be connected to the internet by normal people, but are connected to the internet. And this is all developed to help people save time throughout those 5 seconds a day for each task. Now, there's some devices where you might think, maybe this is sensible. For example, a smart doorbell where you can see the person who's knocking on your door. Let's say you're expecting a guest. You don't know exactly what time they'll come. You're relaxing in your bedroom, blah blah blah. Someone knocks on the door, rings your doorbell, and you can see who that person is. I think that's a sensible idea. But then you got things that are slightly weird, like a smart toothbrush. Why would that need to be connected to the internet? Some may say, oh, so you can see how well you're brushing your teeth or how long for. I don't think it really makes that much of a difference. Smart thermostat, I don't know. I guess some people can see the benefits in having that. Smart kettle, absolutely no idea why. Even blinds and curtains, you can do that by yourself. I don't see why people are so hung up on trying to save time. I'm sure there are many things in their lives that waste more time than opening curtains. But there's always a way for these companies to make something that people buy. I definitely think some Internet of Things devices are useful, but there's always drawbacks to having so many internet connected devices, namely security, because security is a massive issue across the internet. And that's not even with Internet of Things devices, that's just with proper, like, fully fledged internet using devices like computers and mobile phones. So with Internet of Things devices that people take lightly and don't think can be manipulated, there are going to be a lot of problems. There was this documentary I was watching a while ago about how the Internet of Things devices can be manipulated, and the manufacturers don't really realize the issues, which is surprising. Some of them have stock passwords like 6 zeros or 6 ones, which is very ridiculous, and they're connected to every other electronic device in the house. So through that one entry point, one vantage point, you can access every single device in the household, or maybe even further than that, which is ridiculous. You could access someone's car, TV, mobile phone, everything, especially if they're one of those people who have Internet of Things devices everywhere to seem like a modern family. So with the security of Internet of Things devices, you may have a device that a company is actually taking care to make secure, and on the day it's released, it's secure from hackers and malicious people. But then, a month, 2 months, 3 months down the line, a vulnerability is found and it's exploited. Now, updates aren't so easily available as of now for Internet of Things devices, and most companies don't even update their devices at all. So that means, obviously, when you buy it, you can be 100% safe, no one can break it, and then obviously with the progress of technology and exploring the device, the whole system gets broken down. And once you find a problem for one device, every single one of those devices can be manipulated. So that's a big problem for Internet of Things devices, and that's the main concern for the actual devices. So companies get pressured to get their devices out quickly, which also compromises further on security, and they might offer upgrades for some period of time, but they stop when they make the new device. But so it's like, imagine you got one phone and that's the only phone you got, and you update it and make sure everything's perfect, but when you release the new one you forget about the old one. So people have to constantly update and buy new devices, just 200, 300, 400 pounds each time, instead of just upgrading the software, which in reality isn't that expensive or can even be free if you charge slightly more on the initial purchase of the device. Slightly similar to what Apple does with their phones. They update like 5, 6, 7 generations back, which doesn't hinder the process of the people who are on the older phones. And even then, the updates that they've already had are still relevant to the technology today. Another issue of the security is that computers have automatic updates generally. It's like where you can just update automatically, or just say type in a password and it'll update, because people are generally too lazy to perform the basic steps to keep your computer safe, because people don't really realize the risk until it's actually happened. So that's kind of funny but kind of silly when you think about it. But I've been guilty of that. Like, you just don't want to update your computer because you just don't think anything will happen to it, which is likely. It's likely nothing will happen, but it's just better to update just in case. Anyway, Internet of Things devices will be harder to update than a computer, and it's not just so easy as updating a computer. So that's another reason why this process of security and securing your Internet of Things devices will be harder. It's because the consumers don't really understand the issues with it, because most people don't do computer science or programming, so they would have no idea. But it's actually very, very dangerous. And even big tech companies and the governments are taking this security threat more seriously. And the first line of defense in the home is you. They could access cameras, microphones, and you just need to think about what Internet of Things devices can do and how they can be used against you. So a device from a smaller, less established company, let's say a startup, may be cheaper and have other attractive features, but if that smaller company falls down, goes bankrupt and doesn't make any more devices, no one can patch its vulnerabilities, so you've just wasted £100 to £500 on a device that's now useless, just because it's redundant now because there are no software updates for it. So there are quite a few issues. Now, for the nerds watching this video, such as I'm going to tell you some of the programming languages that you can learn if you want to make some or learn how to get involved in that industry. So the most popular languages used in this industry are C. It's one of the most important programming languages in the IoT system, Internet of Things system, and definitely the main player there. Java is well known, used, and it's used by the experts in the industry, definitely. It's just very powerful to use in the Internet of Things industry. Python, obviously, it's used almost everywhere. JavaScript, and those are the four main languages: C, Java, Python, and JavaScript. For the web side, you've got PHP too, but that's more the security backend kind of thing. C, Java, Python, JavaScript are the main languages. I already know a bit of Python, so that would already give me a head start should I want to go into this area. But also for you, Python is an easy language to learn, and JavaScript. They're among the two easiest. They're not the two most important, but you learn those two, but you've got a good edge in learning it. And then you've got C and Java. There are many tutorials you can find online somewhere. I'd want to get involved in this. The Internet of Things is very interesting and very diverse. There are a lot of industries you can go into, whether it's toothbrushes or kettles or toasters or Google Home or something like that. There's always going to be an industry for you to move into. So if you like that video, leave a like and subscribe. Let me know if you've got any Internet of Things devices. As far as I know, I don't have any. So yeah.